Welcome to the audiobook Lost One's Vengeance by ggirl, narrated by Melanie. Prologue. Nate's point of view. The history will repeat once again, which will surely free the one from pain, who had suffered for long, and the one who was cursed for wrong. A pure soul will be born, but it will also cause a few to walk on thorns, 'cause the past will be erased, and for that, a huge cost would be paid. Fate will have to change, only to prove love once again. I kept repeating the words, maybe 1,000,000 times by now, since the very moment when I got to know about the last part of the prophecy more than a year ago. Each and every word of the verse was like engraved into my mind over this long time. But for what? Nothing could bring my mate and my pup back to me yet. The only thing I kept hoping all this while, that they must stay safe when I am still looking for them. If I am not wrong, my pup might have already born, and it must be a year old by now. And I am craving to run to hold them right into my arms, but only if I knew where they have gone. All the powers that I now possess seem completely futile, and I have proven to be nothing else but a real failure, 'cause I could not even save my M and my pup, for whom I longed for a really long time. And at last, when the happiest moment finally came to stand just before me without much of my awareness, it was snatched away from me ever so brutally, leaving me no other way except emerging into one ruthless alpha of all. I am surely called the King of Kings by everyone, but I had no M by my side as their Luna Queen.
Welcome to the audiobook Lost One's Vengeance by ggirl, narrated by Melanie Rausch.
Angie's point of view.
I was standing in the middle of some forest. I did not know what place this was, but the sky was dark and the wood was the densest that I have ever seen. It was really a weird surrounding as I saw something uncanny happening all around me. The night was scary as the harsh wind was howling ever so wildly, making it quite impossible to stand still. The huge trees were swaying their branches with some insane motion as if they would fall off at any time soon. It seemed like a massive cyclone was already on its way to create an immense destruction tonight. The dust, the fallen leaves, and other things were now dancing in the air as the wind was blowing with some great speed, creating a strange haze around me right at this moment. It was really difficult in this situation to see far through the dusty air storm, as I was really struggling to keep my eyes open all this while. What the hell was happening here? I have never seen such a storm. Somehow, from a distance, a deep, frightening sound kept coming to me, which was making me shiver without any doubt, telling me to expect the most unexpected. Even the whole earth was trembling tonight, declaring the fact that nature was already preparing to start some kind of destruction on its own, as if the whole universe got enraged and was ready to go on with its wrath. The never-stopping sound of Earth's rumbling kept increasing its intensity with each passing second, but this time I clearly heard another sound, which I did not know was always there or not. Drumbeats. Somehow, the deep and menacing sound of drumbeats were appearing some kind of threat to my ears ever so strangely, as if they were calling all the evils to come down tonight to make the night even darker than before. Something huge was going on, but what was that exactly, I could not know, no matter how much I wished. Suddenly, a huge flame flickered within a little distance, making the whole place brighter than before. Even though the haze was creating some kind of disturbance to see through, but still, I certainly saw a clear ground just in front of me, even though it was in the middle of the forest. The trees were already cut down, and the grasses were cleared from there to make space. And the strangest thing was that there was some kind of weird patterns drawn on the ground with some white dust. It seems that someone was preparing to tribute something precious to the Almighty. Or maybe everything around me was only a sign to tell that tonight a great sacrifice will be made. A sudden chill ran down my spine all of a sudden. Just when the repeated chanting of some kind of spell started to come to my ears from some distance along with the drum beats, making the whole place completely turn into some sacrificial ground tonight. And it did not take much time for me to realize that someone was destined to die tonight. But who were they? Where were they? I could not see anyone, no matter how much I tried to look around. It was just the sounds that I kept hearing all this while. The strong smell of sulfur made it very clear for me that something dangerous was about to happen, as the blaze had already started to spread, turning into an immense wildfire. I did not realize that I had already started to sweat due to utter fear because I was only feeling the danger, but I just could not see what kind of danger I was about to face in no time. All the sounds of the earth's rumbling, the howling of the storm, the terrifying drum beats, and the malicious sound of non-stop chanting, all together were creating a bone-chilling vibe all around me. I wanted to get out of the place as soon as possible, but it seemed that I was completely unable to move. And then, in no time, from the darkest part of the woods, across the cleared ground, so many pairs of red eyes had started to appear. And this time, I was completely familiar about what kinds of creatures they were. Vampires. They were coming. But why? What did they want? I could not think much for now. It was just something deep inside me was telling me that they were coming for me, and I needed to run as far as I could. But how could I do that when I was still unable to move, even for an inch? And then, in just a flash of lightning, I saw a face just before my eyes. He had the same red eyes, and somehow I felt that he was very familiar to me as well. But I just could not hold myself back and screamed with all my might, "No!" I shot open my eyes, only to find myself in the very familiar room of my own once again. The same white ceiling, the peach-colored walls, the white curtains, and each and everything was telling me that I was nowhere but in my room right now. Was I dreaming then? Yes, I must be. But even if I was dreaming, everything that I saw felt so real to me, 'cause I was still sweating like hell due to utter fear. I could even feel my heartbeats raised a lot, and I was still panting while struggling to get a deep breath. I turned aside after a while, and in no time I felt that bedsheet got completely drenched. Was I sweating that much? No, I was wrong. How could I forget about the one who was always responsible for wetting all the bedsheets every night, every single time? "Mama!" The cute little giggling voice made me realize that the little devil was now totally awake and was playing on her own as I was still sleeping till now. Eva, my daughter. She is just a year old. "Did you pee on me again, Eva?" I asked her in a funny voice, while sitting up on the bed, and I did not wait to lift her tiny body from the wet area, only to make her sit on my lap. She gave me her guilty eyes as if she understood what trouble she had causes, even when she was so little to understand. But her innocent smile, right after, melted my heart in an instant, just as always. Yes, Eva does that often. She often creates trouble and ends up giving me that killer smile, and I cannot even stay angry at her, not even for a second after that. Ah, I wonder where did you learn to give that kind of killer smile, Eva? I could not help but smile at her. Now let's change your dress, otherwise you might get cold. I climbed down from the bed along with Eva and went straight to the bathroom early in the morning to get her ready for the day, and then I did the same as well. I am a single mother, and everything that I do is mostly for my daughter only, as now I never think of me first, 'cause I know that there is no one to look after Eva except me. I do not remember what I was before, but I know what I am now without any doubt. We are not like some normal human beings. 'Cause there is some kind of supernatural creature who still exists in the world along with the humans, and I am just one of them. But even when I am one of them, I am very different from each of those beasts, 'cause there is no one like me in the whole universe till now, as far as I know. Oops. No, not anymore. I might be wrong this time, 'cause how could I forget that I have a daughter now, and she could be one just like me. A hybrid. Yes, a mixed blood of vampires and werewolves. And that was why I always needed to stay alert and hidden from the whole world out there. 'Cause if anyone ever gets to know that someone like my kind exists, there will be a huge massacre without any doubt. Maybe that was why I dreamt of such terrible nightmares. Maybe that was a mere warning for me to tell that I must never let my guard down, and I need to stay away from others as much as possible, only if I want to protect the little, one and only treasure I have now. Yes, Eva is the most valuable treasure to me, and I could even die to keep her safe from any kind of danger in this whole universe, 'cause she is my angel.
Episode 2. Angie's Point of View. I was busy making breakfast for Eva and myself just when the doorbell went off early in the morning. I wondered, who could it be? Because there were very few people now who cared to visit me whenever they get time. And there is a long story behind why I just said that. Anyway, for now, I went to get the door without wasting much time to figure out who could it be at our door early in the morning. "What took you so long to open the damn door, Ange? I was about to break the door down to get in if you were not going to come by yourself any time soon. I thought you might have passed out once again." "You do know how to freak me out, don't you?" Trevor said, inside, without bothering to stand at the door for any further time, with such an annoyance written all over his face. And why is that? Well, only because I was late to receive him at the door just for a few seconds. Anyway, first of all, let me introduce Trevor, the one who helped me out when I was wandering helplessly on the streets, holding a newly born daughter in my arms. Without food, without any kind of shelter and protection. I had nowhere to go, while I had absolutely no idea what was going on with my life. No matter how much I tried to remember where I came from and how I ended up giving birth to a pup, I just could not find any single clue about anything regarding the past of my life. So having no other way to know what did I do in the past that caused me to wander here and there as a homeless, and that too with an infant, I was just waiting for one single chance to rewrite my life once again. I was all ready to give my life a new meaning without any regrets that I could not hold on to the past ties that I might have lost completely by now, because I needed to survive so that my daughter could survive too. Even though I wanted to know who was my mate, how was he, where was he that time, and about so many other things, but I found no way to learn, as if something might have cut all the ties between me and him, so that I cannot get back to him anymore, no matter how badly I wanted to do so. Yes, being a werewolf, we were supposed to be able to mind link our mates, ever so easily, no matter how far we were from each other. But, in my case, I could not do that too. Sometimes I even feared thinking, what if my mate is no more to respond to my call? What if he had rejected me long before? And that was why I could find no one to talk to me in my link, because there was no bond between us anymore. I even feared thinking, what if this pup is not his? What if I did something wrong in my past? So many anxieties kept clouding my mind back then, but still I had no answers to ease my heart, because at the end of the day, I could not remember even one single piece from my past memory. So except for moving on with the new chance that I had got, I saw no other better option left for me. And then, he came out of nowhere, and our lives changed drastically overnight. Yes, it was none other than Trevor, who was the only one to lend me his hand to help us out in our difficult times. Not only that, he provided us, mother and daughter, with a warm place to live for as long as we wished. He even helped me to get a job so that I could manage to earn my living, which could easily fulfill our needs as well. and we did not have to sleep empty stomach anymore. Apart from all these, Trevor even allowed us to stay with his pack as guests, even though I was still feeling a bit hesitant to be a part of his pack, knowing that I might have to change places if I needed to. So as generous as he is, Trevor even took me in along with my daughter as the guest member of his own Blue Moon pack, so that he could protect us as well from any kind of danger. Yes, he is the alpha of the pack Blue Moon, and people here respect him so much due to his ability to make fair judgments with each and every one, irrespective of their status. While he is also known as one of the most powerful alphas around here as well. Indeed, Trevor is strong, and I can say that now for sure, 'cause I witnessed him myself for quite a few times till now. He could even become ferocious if he needed to, 'cause like an amazing alpha he was, Trevor always made sure to keep each and every single member of his pack safe and sound. Always, without a fail. And now, when I also became a part of his pack, though partially, he somehow might have grown some kind of attachment towards us, mother and daughter, as if we always belonged to his pack. Or was it just my assumptions? Was he thinking something else all this while? I did not know. All I know was that Trevor was good to us both, and that was what we needed the most when he had no one by our side any longer. I had no identity, neither I had any pack of my own. Sometimes I also felt as if we were nothing but someone whom nobody needed, not even my close ones if there was any, from my former pack. Anyway, coming to Trevor, I must say that he is really a charming man, apart from being an amazing alpha. He stands as high as 6'2", or 3 inches maybe. His skin is just one shade darker than mine, while all the muscles on his body, which always tries to come out from underneath the attire he usually wears, were the proof of his tremendous strength and hard work. 'Cause I must not deny that I have not seen any other man with him with such a perfect muscular figure, and that too with such a powerful aura of his own. But irrespective of this frightening appearance, with a huge and well-built-up body, he has the most attractive look as well. I have never seen such beautiful brown eyes, ever, which can pull anyone into some kind of enchantment without any effort. And to magnify his looks even more, Moon Goddess has indeed bestowed him with a sharp and manly nose, which is a bit crooked at the top, that goes with his appearance, ever so perfectly. And his smile? Well, even though he does not smile often, but whenever he does, his one single smile was enough to make the other one fall in love with him right at the instant, without a single doubt. And with such a dirty blonde hair, which totally complements his identity as an alpha, makes him the most appealing man ever. Told you, didn't I? That Trevor is indeed handsome, but of course, he is out of my reach. And he would be the same always. At least I hope so. 'Cause even if I accept the fact that I am, too, one of those who really admire a person like Trevor so much, but still, I can never think of getting him as my own. I can never do that. 'Cause now I have a daughter, and in that case, I might have a mate, too, out there, somewhere, which I must not forget at any cost. So, it would be better not to involve him in my mess any further, when we had already helped us a lot till now. And moreover, he might have a mate of his own as well. I do not know what exactly was his story, 'cause I have never seen him with his mate since I came here, even though he was at a really good age to have his Luna by his side, 'cause he is near about 27 by now, which is a really long time to stay without a mate. But it was just that, even when I was so curious to know all about him, I just did not feel like getting involved in his personal matter. And also, there is something else I am really curious about, or should I say, someone, because I have often seen a cute little boy with him, who is near about 4 or 5 years old, whom he takes care of like his own. And the strangest thing was that the boy always seemed so very familiar to me whenever I saw him till now, as if I have known him from somewhere else, even when I knew very clearly that something like that was absolutely impossible, though. But still, I just could not stop having such feeling that I have seen him before. How? Well, I did not know yet.